In 1952, a man named Earl in rural Missouri made more money selling peaches from a wooden stand than most lawyers in St. Louis. 4 years later, a single signature from President Eisenhower wiped his entire livelihood off the map. He wasn't alone. Before 1956, America moved on two-lane blacktop. Route 66, the Lincoln Highway, US 1, the Dixie Overland, these roads cut straight through every small town, and every small town had its hustle. Travelers had to stop. They needed gas, food, sleep, repairs, and entertainment. And the families who lived along those roads turned that captive traffic into generational wealth. Then Eisenhower signed the Federal Aid Highway Act, and 41,000 miles of interstate were built to bypass them entirely. What follows is what we lost. Number 1, the roadside fruit stand. In peak season, a family stand in Georgia, California, or Missouri could pull in $200 a day in 1940 money. That's over $4,000 today. No overhead, no employees, no taxes most of the time. Just a kid, a scale, and a hand-painted sign. The Bracewell family in South Carolina put 3 children through college selling peaches and boiled peanuts from a stand on US 301. When I-95 opened, they closed within 18 months. Number 2, tourist cabins. Long before Holiday Inn or Motel 6, weary drivers slept in small individual cabins clustered around a gravel drive. A family could build 6 cabins for under $2,000 in 1935, charge $2 a night, and gross over $100 a week. The Wigwam Village in Cave City, Kentucky, and the Blue Swallow Motel in Tucumcari became legends. Most others vanished. Today, only a handful of original tourist courts still operate, the ancestors of every motel you've ever stayed in. Number 3, tire repair and flat fixing. Pre-interstate tires were garbage. A driver from Chicago to Los Angeles could expect 3 or 4 blowouts. Any farmer with a hand pump, a patch kit, and a hand-painted flats fixed sign could clear $15 a day. Serious money during the Depression. Many gas stations started as nothing more than a tire shack with a single pump out front. The skill was so common it was taught in high school shop class. Today, almost nobody can plug a tire. Number 4, the home dining room turned roadside restaurant. The Blue Plate Special was born here. One set meal, one price, usually 35 cents. Farm wives across America turned their front parlors into dining rooms, serving fried chicken, biscuits, and gravy to travelers. Mrs. Wilkes's boarding house in Savannah started this way in 1943 and still operates today. Thousands of others didn't survive the bypass. A good cook with a good location could out-earn her husband's farm 3 times over. Number 5, the independent filling station. Before corporate chains dominated, 2/3 of gas stations were family-owned. A Texaco or Sinclair dealership cost almost nothing to start. The oil company supplied the pumps and signage. A station on a busy stretch of Route 66 could net a family $8,000 a year in 1948, equivalent to over $100,000 today. When the interstate moved traffic 3 miles north, 90% of these stations were dead within a decade. The skeletons still dot the back roads. Number 6, the roadside zoo and animal attraction. Reptile gardens, alligator farms, monkey jungles, and snake pits lined the southern highways. Admission was a quarter, and a family could pull in 200 travelers a day in the summer. The original reptile gardens in South Dakota started in 1937 with 20 snakes and a tent. By 1955, it was clearing $50,000 a year. Almost none of these places survived the interstate. They depended entirely on bored kids screaming from the back seat to pull over. Number 7, hand-painted billboards and barn ads. Companies like Burma Shave, Mail Pouch Tobacco, and Sea Rock City paid farmers to paint their barns and put up wooden signs. A single barn could earn a farmer $20 a year just for letting Mail Pouch paint the side. Independent sign painters made a good living traveling rural routes, charging $5 per board. When billboards moved to interstate freeways and became corporate, the rural sign painter trade vanished almost overnight. Number 8, the roadside diner with the counter and stools. Not the home dining room. The purpose-built stainless steel diner, often a converted railroad car. A diner on a busy 2-lane could serve 400 meals a day. The Miss Worcester Diner in Massachusetts grossed over $30,000 in 1950. Truckers, salesmen, and families filled every stool from dawn to midnight. Today's surviving diners are museum pieces. The Interstates pulled the truckers onto travel plazas, and the small-town diners starved. Number 9. Ice houses and cold drink stands. Before air conditioning in cars, summer travelers were desperate for cold drinks. A small ice house with a few cases of Coca-Cola, RC Cola, and Knee-High could move 300 bottles a day at 5 cents each. Profit margins were obscene. The Yellowfront ice stands across Oklahoma and Texas built small fortunes for their owners. Air-conditioned cars and interstate travel plazas killed the model. Nobody pulls over for a cold drink anymore. They bring a cooler. Number 10. Trading posts and Indian curio shops. Across the Southwest, New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, trading posts sold Navajo blankets, turquoise jewelry, pottery, and genuine arrowheads to passing tourists. Markups were 300%. The Jackrabbit Trading Post in Arizona, founded in 1949, became famous for its giant rabbit billboard. Families who ran these posts often partnered with local native artisans and built real businesses. When I-40 bypassed Route 66, most trading posts within 50 miles of the new highway closed within 5 years. Number 11. Produce auctions and farmers' wagon sales. Long before farmers' markets came back into fashion, farmers parked wagons directly on roadside shoulders. Sweet corn, tomatoes, eggs, fresh butter, and live chickens sold faster than they could be unloaded. A single Saturday in summer could bring in $50 cash, tax-free. This wasn't a hobby. For many tenant farmers, the roadside wagon was the difference between staying on the land and losing it. Zoning laws and interstate bypasses ended the practice almost entirely by 1960. Number 12. The roadside photo studio. Tourists wanted proof they'd been somewhere. Photo stands offered to take your picture with a giant fish, in front of a fake waterfall, sitting on a stuffed bear, or pretending to lasso a longhorn. The photographer charged $1, developed it on-site in an hour, and made 50 cents profit per shot. A good photographer at Niagara Falls or the Grand Canyon Road approach, you could clear $75 a day. Polaroid cameras and interstate speed killed the trade. Number 13. Blacksmith and welding shops. Cars broke down constantly, and so did the tools farmers brought to town. A roadside welder with an oxyacetylene rig could fix a cracked manifold, a broken plow, or a snapped trailer hitch for $2 in 20 minutes. Many small blacksmith shops transitioned from shoeing horses to welding cars between 1925 and 1940, and the smart ones got rich. The interstate ended unscheduled stops, modern cars don't break on the road, and the rural welding trade collapsed. Number 14, roadside motels with themed cottages. Before chain motels, themed lodging was everywhere. The wigwam motels, 3 of them still exist, let you sleep in a concrete teepee. There were log cabin motels, Spanish hacienda motels, and the famous Munger Moss in Lebanon, Missouri. A family could build 10 themed units for $5,000 and gross $15,000 a year. The bypass killed most of them. The survivors are now Instagram destinations, but only because nostalgia finally caught up to them. Number 15. Souvenir and pennant shops. Felt pennants, snow globes, miniature license plates, salt and pepper shakers shaped like state landmarks. Every tourist wanted one. Markups were 500%. A souvenir shop near a popular state park could net the owner $6,000 a year in 1950. The skill wasn't manufacturing, it was location. The shop had to be on the road tourists drove, not the road locals drove. The interstate separated those two roads forever. Number 16, ferry crossings and toll bridges. Before federal bridges, private families owned crossings on rivers throughout the country. A simple cable ferry charged 25 cents per car and could clear $100 on a good day. The Anderson family ferry on the Ohio River operated for 4 generations until a state bridge opened in 1957 and killed the business in a single weekend. Hundreds of these private crossings vanished as the interstate system standardized bridges. A few still operate today, mostly as nostalgia rides. Number 17. Roadside bakeries and pie stands. A woman in her own kitchen could bake 20 pies before noon and sell them all by sundown at 50 cents each. Cherry, apple, pecan, peach, whatever was in season. The Pie Town settlement in New Mexico got its name this way during the Depression. A successful pie stand on a Sunday drive route could out-earn a wage worker 3 times over. Today, the closest equivalent is a farmer's market booth, and the margins still work if you can find the traffic. Number 18. Drive-in movie theaters. The first drive-in opened in 1933 in Camden, New Jersey. By 1958, there were over 4,000 of them. A family-owned drive-in on a busy 2-lane could gross over $100,000 a summer. Then the interstate pulled families into cities, suburbs grew, land values rose, and drive-ins were sold for shopping centers. Fewer than 300 remain today. The ones that survived are usually in small towns the interstate forgot, which is exactly why they survived. Number 19. Dance halls and roadhouses. Every region had them. Honky-tonks in Texas, juke joints in Mississippi, polka halls in Wisconsin. A roadhouse on a Saturday night charged $1 at the door, sold beer at 15 cents, and could clear $300 in one evening. The owner usually lived upstairs. When the interstate pulled young people to bigger cities with bigger venues, the rural roadhouse died slowly. A few legendary ones, Groon Hall in Texas, the Broken Spoke, survive on history and tourism alone. Number 20. Roadside taxidermy and jackalope shops. Strange but enormously profitable. A taxidermist in Wyoming or South Dakota could mount tourist trophies, sell mounted jackalopes for $10 apiece, and clear $300 a week in summer. The original wall drug in South Dakota started as a small shop offering free ice water, and built an empire on roadside curiosity. The interstate actually saved wall drug because of aggressive billboards. Most others were not so clever, and they vanished into the prairie. Number 21. Roadside nurseries and plant stands. Travelers driving home from vacation often bought a flat of seedlings, a potted citrus tree, or a sack of seed potatoes from a roadside nursery. Florida nurseries sold orange trees to Yankees by the thousands. A small family nursery on US 1 could gross $20,000 in a winter season. When I-95 took the snowbirds off the old road, the nurseries that didn't relocate to interstate exits simply died. Some of those original Florida groves are still there, abandoned and overgrown. Number 22. Live bait and tackle shops. Every fishing road had one. A bait shop near a popular lake could move 10,000 minnows in a weekend at a penny each. Worms, crickets, leeches, and frogs were all cash crops. The owner usually rented boats too, and ran a small store selling line, hooks, and bologna sandwiches. Margins were thin, but volume was steady. When the interstate routed fishermen onto faster roads with corporate sporting goods stores, the small lakeside bait shop became a relic. Number 23. Roadside honey, sorghum, and maple syrup stands. Specialty food products with no shelf life problem. A beekeeper with 20 hives could sell honey directly to passing cars at 3 times wholesale. Vermont maple syrup, Tennessee sorghum, Georgia Tupelo honey. Each region had its specialty. Margins were enormous because there was no middleman. A weekend stand could net $100 cash, which in 1948 was a month of factory wages. The interstate pulled buyers into supermarkets, and the producers lost direct customer contact forever. Number 24. Water and ice for radiators. Pre-war car engines overheated constantly, especially in the desert. Enterprising families in Arizona, Nevada, and West Texas set up water stops, sometimes nothing more than a barrel, a hose, and a hand-painted sign. 25 cents a fill-up. Bags of ice for the canvas water bag hanging on the bumper sold for a dime. A single family in Needles, California made enough during the war years to buy 2 ranches. Modern cooling systems and interstate rest stops ended the trade. Number 25. The roadside attraction with one weird thing. The world's largest ball of twine. The mystery spot where water flows uphill. The 2-headed calf. The petrified man. These weren't scams to the owners, they were carefully built family businesses. Admission a quarter, gift shop in the back, postcards by the register. A single oddity could support 3 generations. When the interstate let drivers blow past at 70 miles an hour, the era of stopping for the weird ended. Most attractions closed. The few that survived became American legends. Here's the truth most people miss. These businesses aren't really dead. Airbnb is the tourist cabin. The food truck is the home dining room. The farmer's market is the produce wagon. The roadside attraction is now Instagram bait. What the interstate killed was the location, not the idea. The wisdom of our grandparents still works. You just have to find the new road. If this kind of forgotten American history matters to you, subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more we've forgotten, and a lot more worth remembering.